Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host here and the founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation. Um, really happy to do the show this week. It's kind of a bittersweet week, but I'll get into that in just a little bit. I want to, of course, thank our producer, John Gaston with Area 52 Media Group. And today, which I'm this is why I'm kind of excited. We have our new tech guy, Austin, behind the scenes, and I'm really happy to have him with us today. He's a really great guy. Met him a few months ago when we were making some little changes for the better, and I'm really happy to be working with him. So, and we also want to thank DeLynn Gaston with the mortgage firm. Anything mortgages, seriously, if you have any kind of questions, I mean, this gal knows mortgages in and out, and she's really great. So I want to thank her for supporting us. She's been with me from the very beginning of this journey, in many different ways. Actually, when I came up with the idea for Art for Hope, and I don't remember if I came up with that like just prior to, I think kind of like right along the same lines of starting the foundation. And she's the first person that I went to, and I was like, DeLynn, what do you think about this idea as a fundraiser? And boom, she was right on board from the very beginning. And with the foundation, she's one of our board members. So her support, her family support has been, tremendous. In when you're going through life in this type of journey, it's really super important that you have those super supportive people behind you, because when things are hard, they're right there for you. So speaking of Art for Hope, that's coming up here really soon, September 12th at the Hilton Garden Inn. Remember, it is free to attend. There'll be light hors d'oeuvres, cash bar, and cookies is our dessert. Leanne's Old Fashioned Cookies is coming back again this year as our dessert sponsor. And Rick Redmond Photography, he's photographed our events also from the very beginning. So that's really cool. And our presenting sponsors, of course, our top sponsor, Hope presenting sponsor, is Area 52 Media Group. And our Dolly sponsor is the Rotary Club of the Nature Coast. And Da Vinci sponsor, Precision Surveying Mapping. Precision's been with me just like Area 52 and John and DeLynn since the beginning of this journey also. So we're really happy that we can have those kinds of sponsors and support, every year as we go through this. So it's Art for Hope is an uplifting event. Actually, I'd mentioned it last week. These two pieces of artwork behind me will be part of the images that will be available there. I did start posting on Art for Hope Facebook page, I believe, actually on all of our pages, like kind of like a preview of the images that are going to be available. So if you want to go to the Art for Hope Facebook page, you can see images that are going to be available this year. You can see past Art for Hope events on that page also. So between now and then we're going to be putting those on the Facebook page. So anyways, so don't forget to attend. I mean, it's and we have I'm keeping my fingers crossed, a surprise musician that's gonna I think he's gonna show up in the last half of the event. He's really, really good. So I'm excited about that. So with these fundraisers, what are some of the things that we do? Well, of course, we do have our Purple Folder program, but the Bobby White Foundation is now 6 years old. So this year we were able to start our first support groups. So we have our West Pasco support group and our Spring Hill support group. In the Spring Hill support group, we partnered with NAMI Hernando, and we meet at their office, and that's always on the second Wednesday of the month. And then the Newport Richey West Pasco support group meets on the third Thursday of the month at the Oasis Coffee Spot. And the Oasis Coffee Spot is on the corner of Little and Embassy, and they've been a great support too for us. It's a real great coffee shop to go to. They have a boardroom that you can rent. Um, they're kind of like a little sponsor for us. So, and oftentimes I go there. We had a young gal who contacted me, and she had lost her brother um, a couple years ago, and she was, understandably having a difficult time. And that 2 year mark is really really difficult. The 2-3 year mark can be extremely difficult, and she wanted to come to the support group, but she wasn't really sure. And so I was like, well, why don't you and I just meet for coffee? So her and I met at the Oasis and had coffee and talked and cried a little. And she told me about her brother, and she thinks she's gonna start attending our support group. So a really sweet young gal. Um, my heart just breaks for people, especially when they're in those earlier years of this journey. It is so difficult, and she does have some fairly good support around her, though, and I'm really pleased about that. So, sometimes, like I said, that's half the battle, is um, having your support team, your people, your tribe around you to help you. And that can be a very small group of people, because even people that you've known for a really long time, if they haven't been through a situation like this, sometimes it's really hard for them to understand 2 or 3 years out that you're still having a really difficult time. You're grieving still, and it's just hard for some people to understand. So you need to surround yourself with people who that understands, or that is willing to listen. It's not judgmental. And our society is just, that's it. It's there. It can be so judgmental, and it's where the stigma from society, and we do it to ourselves, and I think that's really kind of a byproduct of what society does. That's why we're here to talk about it, so that maybe someday we can drop that part of it, make it easier for people to talk. I see it happening with drug addiction, addicts, recovery. It's happening in those communities now. We need it to start happening here in our realm, in the life of more mental health, suicide, lost survivors. That's why we're here. Yeah, duh. So, anyways, so we have that, and two, I mentioned last week with our Safer Gun program, we do have gun locks here available at the foundation office for free. So all you have to do is give me a call, send me an email, and set up something, and we can get these gun locks. We have 10 available right now at the foundation office. We are fortunate. We have a relationship with James Haley Veterans Hospital here in Tampa, and they're the ones who gave us the locks. So we will always be able to have gun locks available for those in our community. And I would be willing to mail them out to anybody also who wants them. I do not have a problem with that. Whatever we can do to keep our people safe, that's what we want to do. So there's been a lot of really great strides. We're working with the gun safety, and a couple of years. Nah, it's only been like not even a year and a half. They came out with our new suicide prevention lifeline, the 988 number. So we can shrink down that 1-800 number, which we always give you at the end of the show anyways. So this year they're going to have, and we've partnered with SAMHSA to promote 988 Day. And it falls in September, 9/8, for to really get the information out there. And their motto this year is no judgment, just help. So we're going to start doing some more things on our social media to promote 988 Day. And of course, it's 9/8, so it's just a couple days before Art for Hope, but it falls within that week of National Suicide Prevention Week. And so that's going to be starting some of our promotions and getting things up and going, and adding to, Art for Hope is really putting that out there with their thing, no judgment, just help. That's what we got to do. So I'm excited about that because they've given us this really cool toolkit where we can I have some stickers. We have some stickers available. I'm going to get some yard signs made, so we can have some yard signs out in the community and really, really promote that. So I'll be talking about it every show from now till, and it happens to fall on a Sunday, but I'll be talking about it every show until we get to 988 Day. So, and when I get the other extra goodies and tchotchkes out, then we'll be able to show you some of that stuff. So I'm excited about that. That's just another way to get the awareness out and get people a little bit more comfortable about talking and not being afraid to talk. So, and speaking of talking, which I had mentioned last week, I think it was last week, that I had given a presentation and I really wasn't really happy about it, but the feedback was really good. Everybody was really super nice. So, doing a little bit of extra preparation first to make sure we got the right connection so that my PowerPoint will go well. That's basically what the worst part of it was, is I was disappointed that I couldn't show the PowerPoint. So my laptop's at the computer place right now, making sure we got the right cords, and I'm going down early to test things out. So next Tuesday, the 27th, I will be speaking at the Center Club in Tampa. It's a really great business club that I joined several months ago, kind of to expand both the gallery and the foundation and getting people to know about us. So it is a lunch meeting from 11:30 to 1, and you can scan that QR code to register. It's some of the people there in Tampa that I've met are really cool, and they're gonna get educated, help us get the word out, talk about Art for Hope, talk about what's going on here in the Tampa Bay area. Is usually when I do my little presentations, particularly it's like in Pasco County. So I have all the stats for Pasco County. I know things that I wish I didn't know. So when I speak down there next week at the Center Club, I'll be given some of the statistics of what's going on in Florida and the Tampa Bay area, which is probably Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough counties. Probably might throw Hernando in there too, because their percentages per their population is pretty high too. They're percentage-wise about even with Pasco, but just give them some information. Some of the feedback that I got from the last one I did here in Pasco, they were really. It's really an eye opener, and it's really shocking what is going on here in Pasco County that's not being talked about. And so it's gonna, we're gonna do Tampa Bay. So I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, my producer John is going to be down there. Actually, last week I told him he needed to be down there, so hopefully him and DeLynn will be there. And I have a few other gals that volunteer for Art for Hope for the foundation. They're going to be attending, so hopefully we can get some more people from Pasco down to Tampa for that, because that's the thing. Education is key, and being able to talk about it, teaching people what to look for, how to talk. It's important. That's part of the education, because you don't know what you don't know, and so we're going to help with that a little bit. So we're looking forward to that, and hopefully those people will be attending Art for Hope in September. So I am getting excited about that again, even though I really wasn't last week, but that's getting better. So and then I think the reason being is that I know how much of an impact that it'll make, and how much of an impact that it makes every time I do go out and talk to people. Person setting. So anyways, so I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's kind of a heavy week for me. I was hoping it wasn't going to be that way, and maybe it'll lighten up by the end. Might be the full moon is part of it, but Friday the 23rd, so this will air the day after. Well, actually, it's my birthday, but it's also actually our wedding anniversary, and this will be my 8th birthday and our 8th wedding anniversary without Bobby. And that is really hard. It was his idea for us to get married on my birthday. I figure he figured that way he wouldn't forget. So in the beginning, it was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Now it's really, really difficult. We would have been married 32 years. And yeah, it's just still kind of hard. So I just have to. Fortunately, this week is really busy. Tuesday night, I had another fundraiser for the foundation with Rooters. Wednesday night, our Rotary had a human trafficking meeting that was open to the public, and then Thursday actually was 2 events. Chopped for Community Service Council, and then another event at the Center Club. So I'll be down at the Center Club because I can't divide myself in half. Plus, that's when I'm going to do some pre-setup work for the talking event on Tuesday. But yeah, this week is kind of bittersweet, but I have to look at it as we were really extremely fortunate to even have Bobby for as long as we did. And I know I've mentioned it before because it was just a little over 25 years prior to him taking his life. He had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So we were living in Fort Lauderdale at the time. And we weren't gonna be staying there because he had witnessed my first husband getting killed, and we couldn't stay there. So we had planned on moving out of the Fort Lauderdale area. Actually, we were considering moving here to Tampa Bay or out west, but when he was diagnosed, I think in February of 91 with MS, we decided to move here to Newport Richey because that's where his family live. So we moved here. I didn't feel like it was fair to take him all the way across country to my family, which I guess in the end ended up being a good thing. When we didn't know what the future was going to bring us. I was in my late 20s, and he was in his mid 30s when we got the diagnosis. So, and he didn't work for 2 years, but he was able to go back to work as a land surveyor, which is in Florida in the summertime. Like now it is hot as heck. But he worked until the day before he died surveying. And, during that whole time, in the very beginning, there was one option as far as putting him on any kind of medication. And there was only one medication back in 1991, and it was an injection. Just the medication alone back then was $1,000 a month. That didn't include anything else that you needed to use to administer it. And we had a really cool neurologist. He told us that this drug was going to make him sicker than he already was for the next 3 months, with no guarantee that he would be better after that. Well, at the time, he was pretty sick. He hadn't worked in 6 months. He had a really bad time with equilibrium. He was having issues with his eyesight. It's a bunch of different things. And so we made the decision not to put him on the drug and just kind of tried to get his stress level down and eat good, which we ate pretty good, but brought back even further eating of processed foods, which we didn't really eat too much of that. We weren't overly crazy about how we ate or our diet. And my mom during that time, she told us about, it's not a vitamin, it's a mineral, I guess, lecithin, which was good for your brain. And so we just put him on high quality vitamins and lecithin, and was able to kind of control it a little bit. He had remitting, relapsing MS. But, as you know, it progresses. He was in his 30s when he was first diagnosed. He was 62 when he took his life. In the fall prior to that, he had a really, really bad exacerbation. But I thought he rallied from that, but I guess not as much as he led everybody to believe. That's the thing that many of us deal with, is the not knowing why, because there was no note. It was, and it's usually not, this is what you think of it. It was a split-second decision at that point in time. But in reality, it was probably something that he had been thinking about for quite a while, quite a long time. But anyways, so come Friday, I celebrate our 32nd anniversary with him in heaven and again. And I will be 63, so I will be past that 62 mark, which is a really bizarre feeling. But actually, I think I'm going to be so glad that the 62s are over with. I think that's what I got to focus on a little bit. it is hard because I've done this twice. My first husband was 43 when he died. I was much younger than him. He was a lot older than me. And then now 62 to 63, which is really weird. And I shouldn't probably say it, but I actually had it down to 62 in the month and the days. I won't tell you that, but anyway, so 63, and happy anniversary, Bobby. So here's my quote for this show is, I'm grateful for your life, even as I mourn your death. I laugh at the memories, even as I cry for those not made. I recognize the beauty in life, even as I experience its ugliness. I embrace hope and joy, even as my heart breaks. I live, even as I grieve. Yeah, but that's kind of sums it up right now. But please, I do this at all of our meetings, and people do take out their phones. Please put these Lifeline phone numbers in your phone. The National Prevention Lifelines, 988 is a call or text number. Veterans press 1. You can also text 741-741, and you're a youth, a teenager, text Jason to 741-741, and first responders text badges to 741-741. You just never know. And when I gave the last presentation, everybody took out their phones and put the numbers in, and that really makes my heart happy. So as we go through, and again, I just want to say happy anniversary, Bobby. And please, all of you out there, remember, there is always hope. Thank you.